This is a screencast about making one of these R Markdown websites using RStudio and then serving it to the web using GitHub Pages. So let's go to the GitHub repository for this website. It's got all the source code right here. You'll need to download this source code. You could fork it if you want. If you already have a GitHub account, if you press this button, it will copy all these things right into your account. So you'll have your own lab journal website repository. That's one way to do it. Another way, let's download this repository. So I'm downloading it as a zip file. It's gone into my downloads folder. Let's go find it. Here it is. I'm just going to copy this onto the desktop so we know where it is and we can work with it. If you have R and RStudio installed, you can just double click this blue cube file, labjournalwebsite.r project. Since I made this, I've already got one of these on my computer. I'm going to just give this a new name so it doesn't conflict with some other projects that I have ongoing. And you could do this too if you're going to customize your own website. So let's just double click that. And it's going to automatically open up a new RStudio environment. Now if you're new to RStudio and R Markdown, you have to make sure that you have R Markdown installed. You can click the Packages tab, scroll down, see if you can find R Markdown. Keep going. It must be here somewhere. For me, there it is. I've got it installed, so it's going to work. If you don't have it installed, if you can't find R Markdown, click Install, type in R Markdown, and make sure you're using the CRAN repository. Make sure you've got install dependencies clicked on, then click Install, and you'll install it and it'll be good to go. You need to be connected to the internet for that to work. All right. So if everything is installed, you should see a Build tab appear right here. This is how you can build the website. So let's just click Build Website and see what happens. All right, it takes those files, it makes the website and puts it in this little viewer here. This is a web browser viewer, so we can sort of preview everything here, what it's going to look like. If you want to pop this out and look at your website in a normal web browser, you can press this little button here, and then you can look at everything just like this. All right. Notice this is not on the internet. If we look at the path for this, it's a file on my computer. Let's go back to RStudio. Now you can go ahead and start editing these files. First of all, we've got the index.rmd. If you click that, it's going to open up the file, and you can go through and change the title. You can put different information in the different sections, change the picture. In this case, the picture is a PNG called logo, and it's in the images folder right here. So you could change this one and it would change that one. What else do we have? If you want to start working on learning R, for example, we've got a journal page. You can read through this stuff and use the content here to start learning R if you'd like to do that. You can add new pages. So there's an index page, a journal page, and a links page. You can change the kinds of pages that you have using site.yml. It's very important that you don't change the file name for this. You can see how things are set up here. For example, if I want to add a new page, I'm going to copy this bottom part line everything up, call it new. This is going to be the title that you see. And, oops, I'm going to point it at new.html. Press save. Oh, it's going to automatically compile this for me. And, right, so we can see that, that sort of broke there. It made a spot for a new page, but we haven't made the new page yet. There is no HTML file. So what we need to do is create another Rmd file for the new for this new page here. So you could click one of your existing Rmd files, for example, and make a copy. So I'm going to do that. Copy it, call it new. Now we've got another one. We can open this up. We're giving it the title new, and what I want to say, you know, I'm just going to blah, 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 some stuff here. Press save. Now when I build the website, let's take a look at it out here. There's a new web page, and it's got the stuff I put in there. So that's just briefly getting going with RStudio and our Markdown websites. Here's the thing. We have these files on our local computer. They're in this folder right here. We've been able to compile the website in RStudio, make some changes to the files and change what's displayed on the website. The next step is to serve the website online, and we can do that using GitHub pages. I will assume that you have created a GitHub account. So let's go to my GitHub account here, and I'm going to show you how to make a new repository, then upload some files to this new repository and get that workflow going. I'm going to use the plus button, call it new repository, and I'll call this test website. Give it a description. Say, yep, public. I'm going to say initialize this repository with a README, and then create repository. Now we just have an empty repository. It's got one file in it, this README file, and if you have a README file in your repository, it will show the contents of that file below the repository. So now we have a blank thing that we could work with. But where is this blank thing? It is in the cloud. It is on the GitHub cloud. We need to bring this empty folder, this empty GitHub repository, into our computer. To do that, you can download GitHub Desktop. So just search for GitHub Desktop, and you should be able to go here and download this for Mac or Windows, and then you will have to open up that program, and let's see here, this is the program, GitHub Desktop. We want to go into Preferences and connect this to your github.com account. Okay. There's a couple versions of this program. This is, I think, the newer one. This is what the older one looks like. Let's take a look at the new one. This is probably the one that you have. First thing we need to do is called cloning our repository. So if we click on File, we can clone the repository. What this is doing is it's going into your GitHub account and it's looking for existing repositories that you can copy to your local computer. And we just made one. What was it called? Test website. This was the one. I'm going to, okay, I've selected it, and now it's asking me where are we going to put this on my computer. For now, I'm just going to put it on my desktop. And I'm pressing clone. Okay. Looks like it worked. So if I go to my desktop, here we are. We should have, here it is, a test website folder. And it's got that README file that we had made before. All right. Now what we want to do is copy all of our website files into this new folder. So the website files were here. Just going to highlight all of them. I'm pressing copy, going into the test website folder, and pasting everything. There's an item named README. Yeah, replace it, whatever. All right. So we've now copied all of our files into the GitHub repository folder. Let's take a look at what happens when we go back to GitHub Desktop. What we're seeing here is that it's recorded that several changes have been made in the folder. Remember, GitHub is doing version control. It's keeping track of all the changes in GitHub repository folders. The next step is to approve these changes by adding a little description. And then what we want to do is push these changes to, let's see, this seems like this GitHub, there we go. I was wondering where's the button to press. So what we have to do is write a little note to ourselves saying what the changes were, and then we get to commit to master. And it says, committed just now, submit website. I guess that's the notes that I put. So what's next? Okay. When you commit changes, you're just approving them. And let's go back to the website and see what happened. Here we are in that same GitHub repository. I just reloaded it some more. There is no new files in here. We haven't actually sent the files from our local computer back up to this repository. So how to do that? Well, let's do a push to the origin. So we're going to send our files that we changed locally to the website. Now we have 0 changed files. We can always look at the history of all the things that we did. And if we go back to the website, press reload, now we can see we've put our files, we've pushed them up to the website version of this repository. I've set things up so that RStudio compiles all of the files for the website into the folder called docs. We haven't talked about this folder yet, but if you click on this, you'll see that there's a bunch of HTML files here. These are the files for the website. So at this point, your repository is just a file folder. It's got all the files, but it's not displaying the website. In order to turn your website on, so to speak, you need to go to Settings in your repository, scroll down, find the GitHub Pages option, choose Master Branch Docs folder. Whenever you do this, any HTML files that are in the Docs folder will be rendered as a web page. All right. So it's telling me that my site is ready to be published at this address. Usually it's worth waiting maybe a minute or so to let it set itself up. But I'm going to copy this, make a new tab, and it's there. If it doesn't show up for you, wait a little bit, try again. Also, if it doesn't show up for you, try adding index.html to the end here, and that might help you find your web page. All right, that's it for now. We showed you how to edit some files in RStudio to change the website, and then how to upload your files to GitHub. Good luck with getting this going on your own computer.